Welcome to Chris Horner's Corner for all your cycling how-to videos. Today we're going to change a flat tire because we all get them and we all hate them, and sometimes they might be destroying your ride. But if you have your saddlebag packed the way that I have mine packed, and there's the how-to video on that already posted, you should be able to get home even with a flat tire and have it changed in a relatively pretty simple amount of time. I can do them in probably 2.5 to 3 minutes with a little bit of luck and a good CO2. Most difficult thing when you get a flat is trying to find out what is inside the tire and what gave you the flat. Today I'm going to cut it with the razor blade because a lot of times that is the most difficult one to deal with a flat with when you're out on the road and you're all by yourself. Got my razor blade here. We'll come over here. We'll cut the tire. Throw it in this hole right here. There it is. Razor blade, cut the tire. That's it. You think your ride's over, but it's not. What you do is you come over here, pop the tire off with the quick release, release your quick release, drop the tire down, pull the derailleur back. It's always important. Pull this derailleur back. The wheel will just drop right out that easy. I'm not going to use the pump today because I want to show you how to do it, of course, with the saddlebag, and I don't want to look like one of those hot dog on a stick employees that we all grew up with watching at the mall when they were pumping the lemonade and getting it all ready for you.
Just stop. Yes. Put that hot dog smile on.
Kind of ridiculous. I'm not going to do it for you. So we'll set that aside. We'll get back over here. I'm going to undo the saddlebag here. Hopefully we don't need the little pump. We're going to do it with a CO2 today. Go in here. Pull out one tube, one CO2, one inflator, and not one, but 2 tire levers. Okay, throw the other spare tube back in there. I always carry 2. Watch the saddlebag video. Come back to your tire. You know the tire's flat, okay? So you're looking around. You're trying to just feel around to see what's causing the problems. You don't know what it was. Today we do, but there it is. It's going to be the cut right there. So all you got to do, throw your 2 tire levers, one in here, pick up the bead of the tire just a little bit, throw the other one. We're going to go maybe, 2 inches apart. Throw that up. Pull one over, pull the other over. Grab your thumb, fingers down below. Push. Slide it all the way around. And pull it off. Okay? Pull the tube out. This tube we're not going to patch today. We're just going to replace it because you should be carrying at least 2 tubes with you in your bag, hopefully. Okay, pull that out. Now, just with my thumbs, I'm going to lift the tire up. I'm going to make a little gap between the tire and the rim there. Lift it up, pull it over, and it's going to pull right off like that. Okay, so we'll pull it out. Pull it completely off. We'll throw the tube out of the way. Now, you don't really know what caused the flat, right? It just went flat on you. If it went fast, normally the tire was cut. If it went slow, you probably still have a piece of glass in the tire, or you have a little splinter, little metal sliver caught in there, or maybe even a thorn, depending on what time of year it is. Thorns are pretty popular. So you feel around. Keep looking. While you're feeling inside and outside, you want to see if something's cut in the tire or what caused the flat. When you're going, you're still feeling around here. You're getting back to about where the circle is, and there we find it. There's our cut right there. That's what's causing the problem. Now, if I put a brand new tube in here right now at this minute, this cut here, the tube's going to go up in there and the tire's going to pinch between the tube and the tire. The tube will find its way out and it'll either get pinched by the tire or it'll stick so far out that the road will actually cause you another flat. So, grab your tire levers. On every tire lever, I always have the tape, the duct tape, taped around it. So I'm going to peel a little bit of duct tape off. Always keep duct tape in your saddlebag. Just roll it off like this. Okay. Doesn't matter how old it gets, it always still keeps working and stuff. It gets a little sticky and all that, but the duct tape's always there, and it's always there to help you out. So the hardest thing to do is to find again where you cut the tire at. Okay. Again, you know you cut it because you already heard the flat. So you just look around. There's the cut right there. flip the tire upside down. You'll see the cut on the back right here. The duct tape literally just goes right across like that. Now, if you have a big cut, today we did a pretty good size one, so it wouldn't hurt. Just throw another piece of duct tape over the top. You can double ply it. This should be more than enough to get you home. Stick that in there right like that, okay? That's all you're doing, sticking in there. Now, I'm going to set this tire up so that this and the tube, the valve is going to be right here where the duct tape is, so I can see when I'm actually installing and inflating the tube, if the tube's going to push through the tire or not, or through the duct tape. With 2 layers, shouldn't push through, but we still want to know where the duct tape is. So if we apply the tube, if we insert the tube next to where we did the tape like this, we're always going to know that the cut is right above the valve, so you can keep an eye on it during your ride. Okay, you can use your hand pump that I like to carry with, or the quick and easy way. Just add a little air in there. You just want a tiny bit so it doesn't pinch inside the tire when we go to mount it. Again, where we mounted the duct tape, we're going to find the hole in the rim right here. We're going to put the duct tape where the hole in the rim is. Okay. Throw that up there. Mount one side of the rim in. You should be able to do this all by hand, but let's say I just don't have the fingers. I can clearly put it on by hand myself, but in case you don't, just put the tire lever in there and apply it to pop it on. Now you got half on, half off. You find your valve hole. That's where the duct tape is because the cut is on the top. So we're going to put the tube in there. So here's your valve hole. Pull the tire back just a little bit. Insert your tube like that. Now the tube's there. Just run your finger through and put it inside the rim. You're not mounting the other side of the tire yet, the other bead. You're just putting the tube inside the rim so that the tube's not dangling out over the edges here where it can get pinched between the rim. So the tube's not getting pinched between this bead and the inside rim. The tube's all the way mounted inside quite easily, right? Now with your hands, mount it like this. Just pull your fingers. All my tubes always have talcum on it. The talcum, the baby powder talcum, just helps the tube not to get pinched and everything slides on easy. Okay, I like to end right here at the valve. The reason why, and this is important, it's a little more complicated to end at the valve because you have more rubber wrapped around the tube and stuff, so it's a little more complicated to push the tire on, but sometimes the last bit of the tube will get stuck between the bead here and inside the rim. You don't want that because when you inflate it, it'll blow the tire off and it'll flat your tube again. If you do the very last install of your tire bead right here by the valve, what's going to happen if it does pinch? One, there's no air in there still before I inflate it. If I push this valve up, it'll release the tube. It'll pull the tube up into the tire, which will disconnect it from being pinched between the rim and the bead of the tire. So always finish at the valve with your last part. This is the most difficult part of your install when you're doing a new tube, okay? I can do it with my fingers, but if you have to, I roll with the palms like this. It's best to use no tire levers, but if you have to, get it in there, but you have to be very gentle when you're getting the tire lever. By hand is best. Look how easy this is by hand, okay? Now, if the tube was pinched in here between the bead and the rim, by pushing this valve up, it will release the pinch so that when I inflate it, it won't blow off the rim and flat the tube, okay? Now we're gonna do it with a CO2, like I said, because that's the way I like to travel, always with the CO2s. It's always important, first you do the spring action like this, make sure everything's disconnected, okay? Screw it in. That's it. It's all ready to go. Come over here. If it's really cold out or raining, you want to have some protection over the CO2 between your fingers and the CO2 because it will get so cold. If it's raining, I've had it turn to ice and want to stick to my fingers. So they do make some rubber garment that'll slide over here on the CO2. If you're in a cold places and riding in the rain often, I'd recommend that. Or inflate it with gloves on, okay? It's warm here. We're not going to worry about it. A little bit at a time. It's inflated, right? That's how easy the CO2 is. I didn't inflate it all the way, but I wanted to show you this is how big the cut was. And now we can see that the tube is not coming through and it's not going to flat again. This is not a permanent fix, okay? This is to get you home. It's always best to put a new tire on if you have a cut like that. If it's just a piece of glass or a thorn, you pull it out, it'll be good for another 2,000 miles, no problem. So we checked that. We know it's good. We can inflate it, okay? It's hard. We got 80, 90 PSI in there right now. You're good to go. That's how fast we change a tire, and that was a complicated one. A lot of times it's just a pinch flat. You just hit something really sharp. It went down in there. It flatted the tube and between the bead and the rim. That's really simple, easy to fix. You can even change it in half the time we just did this. This wheel's ready to go. You pop it back on. Again, pull the derailleur back. I always like to have the bike straight up like this. Pull the derailleur back. Lift it up. Quick release. Starts to grab. Quick release started to grab about halfway. Nice firm push and it's good to go. That's it. You're back on the road. Like I said, I can do it in 2.5 minutes. I could do it blindfolded for you really today if you wanted me to. It's very simple. Don't stress about it. Really easy. 2 tire levers. Bring some extra duct tape with you and a CO2. I can have this tire changed in 2.5 minutes if I really threw down for you and I wasn't trying to put on a show. Hope you enjoyed today's how to fix a flat. Come back to the channel, like and subscribe. See you next time.